Ongla Unsung, the challenger. That's Vitaly Bigdash, the champion.
You ready? Ready, go!
This fight brought to you by RCTI. A measured first few seconds. Explosions could happen at any moment. The challenger in the black shorts, in the army fatigues, the champion, Bigdash.
Ongla told me that he feels that Bigdash keeps his head in a stationary position and it exposes a huge hole so that maybe he can capitalize with that big right hand of his.
He certainly does have a big right hand. They both have power in those fists.
Bigdash wants to outwork Ongla and just really put pressure on him because he doesn't feel he's conditioned for this particular fight.
The first offensive move of the night, that kick, a scything kick to the stomach from the Burmese fighter. It's a measured start, isn't it, from both men? Caution is the watchword. Not sure that Bigdash has really thrown much at all at this stage yet. He's got plenty of time. Don't forget, five-minute rounds in this one.
Bigdash has landed two pretty significant leg shots. That's really only been strikes that he's thrown. Hasn't really thrown his hands, hasn't really set up anything.
Well, that knee landed to the side of the ribcage there. Bigdash looks in tremendously good shape, doesn't he? Really carries this weight extremely well.
Ongla looks very relaxed, good movement. Bobby nice and light on his feet. Bigdash looks a little stationary, a little flat-footed. Nice body shot there from Bigdash, though.
Really dug it in, didn't he, to the midriff. Super left hand. Not a punch you see so very often in mixed martial arts. Left hook to the body. That one came in a forward motion rather than outside in. What a slapping noise that made. Not sure that it connected too much with the head. There was a lot of arm in that, but that one got through to the stomach. Very accurate work there from the Bigdash feet.
There's that clinch from Bigdash. Ongla is able to push it off, moving nice and relaxed, pushing forward, controlling the center of the cage.
Neither man willing to get overly excited here, waiting for their moment, biding their time. This one certainly is a marathon, not a sprint. 25 minutes is a long time to stand in front of an opponent.
Nice right hand there from Ongla. This is his 30th fight, so he's definitely been in there with some very high-level competition. So this is no, new thing for him. He's very relaxed and composed, but the champion is the less experienced fighter.
Yeah, 1 year older, but Ongla Unsung vastly more experienced.
A little bit of gamesmanship there from Bigdash. The crowd seems to get behind him on that one.
1:30 left in this opening round.
Action!
Yuji Shimada calling for action. The crowd around us just gaping open-mouthed. You dare not take your eyes off this one. We've seen the power that both men have exhibited in contests gone by. 70 seconds left in the opener. Spins. No grins.
1 minute left in the first round. 1 minute.
Ongla Unsung, if anything, is the one that's moving forward. Neither fighter really looking to gain much ground. Final 40 seconds.
The leg kick from both fighters. There's that spinning attack again. I like how he set it up with the inside leg kick. He went after the inside leg kick, stepped forward. That helped set him up without the high disguise. That spinning back kick a little bit better. Didn't really telegraph it as much like Bigdash just did there.
Intriguing, fascinating, somewhat tepid this opening round though. You're just waiting for that big explosion to come. Final 10 seconds. There's a kick to the body. And some heavy blows coming just in the dying moments of this opening round. Big elbow from Big Dash, and another one. And Ong La and Sung certainly had his bell rocked just before the bell at the side of the cage signaled the end of the opening round.
That seems to be where Big Dash has the biggest advantages from that clinch position. He's able to control the distance, and there's that spinning side kick that was landed by Ong La and Sung. He set it up really nicely. That one didn't quite land as effectively. Big Dash says, no big deal, let's do it again. Rich, break that one down for him.
This is an almost dead even round. These two guys, they're just kind of picking at each other. I really like how relaxed Ong La looks in this round. Like, his timing just is really good. Big Dash looks quite rigid, so it's going to be interesting to see what kind of adjustments these two make coming out. But this is one where you're just going to have to kind of count the punches. You can see a little bit of red mark on Big Dash's forehead, so a few of those punches have gotten through from Ong La. Ong La has a nice little knot on his right temple as well. But if you were to look at the punch stats, I believe that Ong La has probably landed a couple more punches. So when I say he has the lead, I'm talking as marginally as possible.
It's a slither.
that I can say.
I'm betting that that welt on the right-hand side of Ong La and Sung's forehead came from the exchange in the dying seconds of that first round. Elbows flying in and forearms from Vitaly Big Dash. But Rich remarking on how composed the Burmese fighter looks. The same could be said for Vitaly Big Dash, certainly.
Big Dash looks a little bit more relaxed this round. He's got his head moving a little bit. He's a little bit lighter on his
looser, isn't he? Took the right hand there, though.
How was a sneaky right hand landed by Ong La? Both fighters exchange leg kicks again. Those seem to be the most significant strikes for both fighters, is attacking the legs.
They both just kind of ducked underneath those punches as they came at the same time, and they became glancing blows. Big Dash had a little mop of his brow just to make sure that there was no damage there. There isn't anything.
Man, Big Dash throws some heat with those kicks, huh?
Now he's getting to work. Brings in Ong La and Sung's head and then the knee to the body. Pressed up against the cage now.
See, inside the clinch is where Big Dash can possibly drain some of the energy out of Ong La. He's going to be able to, make Ong La work a little bit harder, because in the stand-up exchanges, Ong La and Sung's very relaxed.
Now, 3 times there we saw hand in the face, elbow to the face from Ong La and Sung, and at some stage it looked as if there may have been a stray finger in the eye. Good spirit, good sport. Vitaly Big Dash isn't going to make a big meal of it, and we resume without much of a delay at all.
Yeah, with these open-fingered gloves, it's very dangerous to reach out and try to touch your opponent's head. You're usually just trying to create distance.
Right hand from Big Dash there, caught the Burmese Python. Ong La and Sung showing us that he's very durable. Looks like he's got a solid chin. He'll need one. He's got a big frame and a big neck. All manufactured to take these big punches, but no one can withstand huge punches all night long.
Let's go.
Looks like Big Dash is trying to bait him in. He's trying to get him, Ong La to try to, initiate some sort of exchange so he can counter with that big kick that he's throwing. He's setting up that right kick quite nicely.
Snappy, isn't it?
Boss.
Sends it with speed. Left jab from Ong La and Sung, takes a knee to the head and then gets flung towards the cage wall.
Yeah, he's trying to bait Ong La in so he can initiate a clinch, possibly go for that Muay Thai clinch, the plum, and start dropping some knees, and he likes that elbow as well.
Seems to me that Big Dash fancies himself as a stronger man in the clinch, body to body. We'll see.
See, he's just able to land a little bit more of the strikes from the clinched position. A little bit stronger. He looks like he's setting up a knee here. Yep.
Again, Ong La and Sung's hand in Big Dash's face. Look for him to perhaps throw that forearm in. There it is again, exactly what he was doing before, and again.
It's a nice short elbow.
Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Boss, boss. Boss, take care.
Big Dash with the left hand, flush in the face, goes downstairs to the body as well. Both men working hard on the cage wall. Inside the final 100 seconds of this second round, Yuji Shimada wants them to the center of the cage. Big Dash looks up at himself on the big screen. satisfied with his work so far. It's close.
Both fighters are conserving their energy very well. They're not expending a lot. They're not getting overly dramatic in their attacks. They're not really exchanging in big flurries. They're very composed, very relaxed. Big Dash seems to be relaxed a little bit, more in this round than he was in the previous one.
Yeah, that's very much been the story of the first 9 minutes. Both men very much ready and prepared to go the full 25.
Watch out. No headbutting. No headbutting.
Many would tell you it's unlikely to get that far. And there we are again, hand on the face, elbow from Ongla Unsung.
Clean fight.
Takes some punishment to the body and a right hand to the chin. And a left hand to the jaw as well. Big Dash backs off, knowing that he's done some good work there on the cage wall. Ongla Unsung does not look phased.
30 seconds left in the second round.
Final half minute of the second round. Right hand from Ongla Unsung. Didn't quite land with all the heaviness he wanted.
No hands.
Again, Big Dash is able to turn Ongla over, press him up against the cage, and really just land these short strikes. Not really doing a lot of damage, but both fighters are scoring in this position.
Well, that's a good, solid forearm elbow, wasn't it? They're both working hard from that position. The Burmese fighter perhaps slightly more so, and I think that'll probably tot up on the scorecards. He's working hard inside there.
Yeah, very good round for both fighters. We see a lot of action in the clinch. Ongla's dropping those short elbows, and there's a little bit of flurry, but that's where Big Dash is doing the best work. He's really controlling the clinch. He's able to press Ongla over, and then he's still keeping active with the short strikes. Nice little exchange there to end the round. Rich, how would you break that round down?
Well, I'll tell you what the interesting thing here is that you can tell how strong Big Dash is every time they clinch. He's like turning Ongla, putting him into the cage, and I mean, not just turning him into the cage, but almost throwing him into the cage. The lead that Ongla had, according to me, at the end of the first round was very marginal, but Big Dash has done some really good work with his dirty boxing to elbows from the clinch. They're both landing shots, but from the clinch, I believe Big Dash is landing way more. At the end of this round, I give Big Dash the lead. Not a big lead, but he's in the lead.
It's close, yeah, it's close. But Rich gives it to Big Dash
fight.
so
Clear
far.
fight,
That's
okay?
after 10 minutes with 15 to come. Remember, it's not round by round scoring. We look at the whole fight when we decide who the winner is.
Big kicks thrown by Big Dash.
The spinning kick connected that time, but only around the shoulders. Oh, that's a big one, and that rocked Ongla Unsung, no question. Follows up with the right hand, and he has enough presence of mind to go for the trip, Ongla Unsung. But he's taken a lot of punishment on his back now. Punches coming in, there were elbows too. There's a lot of unanswered blows to the head now, but Ongla Unsung gets to his feet with tremendous strength, almost goes down with the trip. No question that it should be stopped at this stage because Ongla Unsung is in full control, although he certainly was rocked. Strong enough to get back up to his feet. What strength, Mitch.
What composure shown by Ongla Unsung to keep his wits about him when he just got rocked. Big Dash landed some huge shots there as he attempted to finish the fight, but how composed was Ongla Unsung there?
Reminders of that tremendous fight that Big Dash had with Igor Svirid for a moment there. Exchange of blows that don't really come that close to finishing the fight because these two men are so durable and strong.
Now, this is a very smart move on Ongla's part. He's keeping the posture down of Big Dash. Now he's going to able to regain his wits, make sure his head is clear. But Big Dash is trying to fog it up with those elbows.
His head bounced off the canvas, and there's some blood dripping on the canvas, as you can see. You can bet that's coming from Ongla Unsung's head. The sharp point of the elbow will do the damage. Looks like it's on the left-hand side of the Burmese fighter's face.
Is it
Hard to
the
see
ear?
exactly where the damage is. It could be the ear, it could be just on the upper cheek there, but Vitaly Big Dash will go to work and see if he can cause any more damage or possibly even finish the fight. But for the first time, Ong Le Sung looks now as if he's got a bit of an uphill struggle. More than capable of coming back, but it's difficult now. Another big forearm coming in from Vitaly Bigdash.
Ong Le Sung is very tricky off his back. You can see his hips pivoting from side to side, looking for any opening that he's have. But Bigdash is landing some huge elbows just to kind of stifle the ground attack of Ong Le. Active guard, he's trying to swivel his hips from side to side, looking for a possible sweep or submission. But Bigdash is following his hips as Ong Le tries to pivot his hips out. You can see Bigdash kind of follows the hips with him. So he's not able to create any angles.
Elbows and forearms from Bigdash. There it is again, two very big elbows to the top of the head. Ong Le Sung really is taking quite a battering from that left elbow. There's another attempt, didn't land flush that time. Right hand comes down.
Okay.
Ong Le Sung is in trouble now, Mitch. He's got so much to do.
Time stop! Time stop!
Now,
Time stand
Yuji
up.
Shimada
Check the-
calls
check
for a
doctor.
break in the action.
Check
I
doctor.
think he wants perhaps the doctors to have a look at Ong Le Sung's face, and that seems an eminently sensible move.
I think the cut is affecting his vision. He's wiping his eyes. He's trying to get clear, especially when you're in the ground, when it's flowing into the eye.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to see very well.
And of course, your arms aren't free to wipe it away, so you're fighting blind. So, Vitaly Bigdash on the cusp of really taking control of this fight now. Ong
We've
Le
got an
Sung.
injury timeout. We've got an injury timeout, Rich. How's this going to work?
Well, this is a different kind of timeout here because they actually brought the doctors in to look at the cut and assess that. So this isn't a 5-minute timeout where there's a foul or anything like that. The doctor's going to assess the cut. It didn't look like the cut was actually obstructing the vision, but the blood was. So now that they have his face cleaned up, restarting the fight.
They're going to get into the position they were in, or something approximating it, when Yuji Shimada called for a break in the action.
Keep going.
So, the Burmese fight has been cleaned up. He's got his vision back, but for how much longer? You can bet that Vitaly will go to work with those elbows and forearms once again. You're seeing evidence right there. Final 50 seconds of this third round, and then it's the championship rounds. If we get that far, there's a lot of damage can be done in these final 40.
Bigdash is just so strong. He's just holding Ong Le into position. And as soon as he creates a little bit of space, those big elbows start coming down.
Another huge pair of blows, one from the left elbow, one from the right fist. Then he works the body, comes back upstairs to the temple.
This round has completely changed the fight. Bigdash has done so much damage, and it all started with that big head kick.
That sharp point of the elbow has done so much damage. When Ong Le Sung's corner get him on his stool, they realize they've got a lot of work to do to patch him up. His head looks clear though.
There's that beautiful left high kick of Bigdash. Ong Le was a bit rocked. He was able to keep his composure here. These are big shots being landed by Bigdash. He gets back up to his feet and helps regain his composure, but then some of these elbows that were landed are just so punishing. The way he creates a little bit of space and just slides into that elbow. How do you have that one scored, Rich?
That round, obviously all Bigdash. The head kick that he landed there scored some internal damage when it wobbled Ong Le. All the ground and pound that he did with the takedown landed a lot of cumulative damage, so he's scoring in the higher categories. He's extended his lead tremendously. At this point in time, 15 minutes in, Bigdash.
What I can tell you just from looking at Ong Le Sung's face in between rounds there is that the damage seems to be underneath the eyes. Now, as Mitch pointed out earlier on, when he's on his back, very likely that the blood would run into his eye. When he's standing up, not so much. So, in the stand-up, he should have relatively clear vision. That, of course, is only one aspect of damage done to your face. Vitaly Bigdash will see that, and he will take encouragement from it. Ong Le Sung knows that after that costly third round, he needs to do something a little bit special here in the fourth.
But
Will he
Big
get the
Dash
opportunity?
goes right back to his strengths, gets the takedown and starts delivering. Now he's got him in half guard. So now he's actually trying to pass the guard of Ung La and work into a better position. Pops the hips up, but Ung La does a very good job of regaining that butterfly guard. Now he's back almost into full guard. Yep, now he's got full guard, pulling Big Dash back down, but man, he's got to open up his legs and create more movement, maybe use the wall to try to get back up, because this is not where he wants to be for the next 4 minutes.
Well, he did try for a moment, but it's so difficult to get the leg up there and then be able to get enough angle to push himself off and create some space. His head pops up there and it doesn't look any better than it looked in the previous round, does it? Vitaly Big Dash now with the bit between his teeth. And that was a very damaging elbow across the head. And Ong La Sung felt that, and this could be the beginning of the end. Yuji Shimada moves round so that he can get a good view of things. 3:39 left in the fourth. So durable though, isn't he? Just when you think he's ripe for the taking, the Burmese Python shows us his strength.
To take a fight of this magnitude on such short notice definitely displays the heart of Ung La Sung, but he is just taking a beating on the ground here from Big Dash. Big knees to the body.
And then to the temple, and then upstairs with the punches. Ong La Sung on his feet, and he has enough about him to try and go for the trip, but it wasn't executed well enough. Indeed, it's Big Dash who gets it. 3 minutes left in this round now.
The only good thing about this position for Ung La Sung is that he's near his corner, so he can hear the instruction of his coaches very clearly, and he's actually abiding by a lot of what they're saying.
He's got Big Dash's left arm pretty much under control. Sorry, right arm, but it's the left that's doing the damage.
But I think that's Big Dash is doing. He's just using his shoulder to pin Ung La into that position so he can drop bombs with both sides now.
Yeah, sure enough, Mitch, you're right, because he released it with some ease and dug in that punch with the right hand to the side of the body. Halfway through, just over this fourth round.
Oh, nice sweep there from Ung La. Sung got the butterfly hook in, was able to use it to stand back up, but just gets manhandled back down to the ground.
It's clear who has the strength at close quarters, isn't it? Vitaly Big Dash, such a strong man. It's looking like a real struggle now from the fighter from Myanmar.
But Ung La Sung has got a very good guard. He's got a very active guard, and he's using it very well. So once he gets the hooks in, so he releases the full guard position, the closed guard that he's got, he's able to use his legs quite well to create positions that are a little bit better for him, to create a scramble and to possibly get back up to his feet.
Those distracting punches to the left side of Ung La Sung's body, hoping that the arm will come down to block them so that Vitaly can then switch up to the head and do even more damage there. 1:26 left in the fourth. It's looking like Ung La Sung needs something very special, something like a knockout if he's going to win this.
Bring your hand back to your face. There you go. You can take the right hook in there too,
As you said, Mitch, he's getting instruction from his corner, but how much good is it doing him? So dominant is Vitaly Big Dash.
You know, it helps a lot to hear that encouragement from your corner, but there's nothing he can do. Big Dash is so strong in the top position that he's just holding him there, and he's just dropping big bombs.
He's just working and working and landing and punishing. That's the mark of the world middleweight champion. Let's hope we don't have to wait 13 months to see him again. Same could be said for Ung La Sung, but how injury-free can he remain?
30 seconds left.
No gloves.
It looks like the injuries are just superficial damages to the face. He seems to be moving quite well, fine. He's just being out-powered here. He's just being out-grappled because the bigger, stronger man, Big Dash, is holding him down and, you know, just beating him up.
Just digging in those punches
there's
with
an
the right
armbar.
hand, but here we go.
See, he's still got a very active guard. He's still threatening submissions. He's trying for sweeps. He's doing very well off his back, but he's just getting out-muscled.
He's got an awful lot about him, hasn't he, Ung La Sung, but his big chance is going to come at the start of this fifth round when they're in the stand-up, because when they go to the deck, Big Dash just is in charge.
Since the high kick has just been more of the same. Rich, what do you have?
Well, I'll tell you, Big Dash has extended his lead so much that I believe that Ong La is going to have to finish the fight in order to win this thing. I don't think he can win it by decision at this point in time. And I believe that it would be smart for him to stay off of his back because of all the blood. It makes him very slippery, and no matter how active his guard is, it's going to be very difficult to land a submission. So if I were in his corner, stay up on my feet, or if I'm going to hit the ground, make sure I end up on top. Otherwise, this fight is going to end up being Big Dash's in 5 minutes.
5 minutes separates Vitaly Bigdash from having that middleweight championship belt strapped around his waist again, unless, as Rich Franklin has just said, Ong La Sung does something very special, and that surely has to come in the shape of a knockout or a submission. As we said, the best chance comes now. Every round starts on its feet. Once we go down to the mat, you have to fancy that Bigdash will take control again. Crucial 5 minutes for Ong La Sung, and these early moments are going to be surely the most important. They touch gloves in center cage. The final round of this one championship middleweight world title fight.
And that is a grin of a
Oh, he got caught throwing that right hand and stumbled.
big kicks thrown by Vitaly Bigdash again.
This really is the moment where the Burmese fighter has to do something special. But Bigdash knows that, and he's not going to dive in. There's no reason for him to.
Very relaxed, big, nice composure shown by Bigdash, who's throwing some heavy heat with those legs, though. Each thought is just a thunderous shot. Even when Ong La Sung is able to block it, you can just hear the thud.
Must be tempting, Mitch, for Bigdash to unleash big bombs in the stand-up, but realistically, he probably wants to get Ong La Sung back down on the mat where he's been in so much control.
Yeah, but he's only going to win a decision that way. You know, Ong La is doing too good a job keeping the full guard, keeping in control, and just taking damage. I think Bigdash wants to get the finish here. He wants to get a knockout. And that's what he's looking for right now by throwing some of these heavy shots with his kicks.
Therein lies the risk, though. He provides an opportunity for Ong La Sung to perhaps get back with one enormous blow. He's got that ability, hasn't he? Got TKOs to his name, 7 of them.
Ong La still in this fight, though, nice and just moving nice and well. Back and forth on his feet. Bigdash is picking his shots. Throwing just one shot at a time, not really putting any combinations together. He's not throwing hands and then the kicks. He's just kind of throwing these big kicks by themselves. And a veteran like Ong La, it's going to be hard to catch him like that. He caught him in the third round, or the second round, this third round, with that big left kick because he was putting it together with other shots. Here he is back onto the ground.
There's the trip with 2:50 left in this final round. You have to feel that if Bigdash can just maintain this position, he can coast to victory. His 8-0 record would become 9-0 and he would retain that belt. But you made that point, Mitch. He'd love to end it in spectacular fashion.
I don't think Bigdash is a guy that wants to coast to victory. I think he's always
I'm quite sure you're right.
for the victory. I don't think, I think he wants to put a punctuation on his title defense here. His first one, they say you're not a champion until you defend your belt. And he's doing a great job of it here right now. He's out, his game plan is working perfectly against Ong La Sung.
More of the same. Down come the elbows and the forearms from that very potent left arm. Entering the final 2 minutes of this contest.
2 minutes left.
You're watching one of the most powerful men on the One Championship roster, pound for pound. Vitaly Bigdash doing the business. That time, the right elbow.
The kicks of Bigdash on the feet and the elbows on the ground have been the story of this fight. Just doing significant damage to Ong La Sung on the ground here.
Tremendously well conditioned.
He's using the cage to try to get back up. But look at the way Bigdash pulls the hand away, pivots Ong La away from the cage so he's not able to walk back up.
Looking for the up kick there, the heel in the face, but Bigdash was more than able able to back off and out of range, comes down with that thudding right hand to the side of the face. About to enter the final minute of this 25-minute contest.
1 minute left in the fifth and final!
Rich Franklin said that Ongla and Sung needed to do something special, and by that we need a knockout or a submission win. He has to stop Big Dash surely now if he's to get that belt. 40 seconds left. And it's hard to see how the Burmese Python can reverse this position in the time that he has and do anything significant.
30 seconds left in the fifth and final round!
But another absolutely formidable exhibition of powerful mixed martial arts from this strong, strong man. 4 KOs, 4 submissions on his record in that unbeaten 8-0 record. Looks like we're going to add his first decision victory as he moves towards retaining his world middleweight crown. As you'd expect, honor and
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds of intense battle, we turn now to our judges' scorecards.